All right, hey everybody, and welcome to Zenfolio Live. I am Robert with Zenfolio Customer Success. I want to say thanks for joining us on Zenfolio Live today. Hey, if this is your first time hanging out with us, make sure you say hi to us. Let us know where you're from in the chat. We love talking to you guys, seeing where you're from, seeing where you guys are watching. So make sure you say hi to us and let us know where you're from in the chat. We've got Anna Montgomery, Robert, and Keith hanging out with us so far on YouTube, and then hanging out with us here on Zoom, we've got Carolyn and Charlie, Eduardo, Joanna, John, Kathleen, Kim. Let's see who else is joining us. Lynn and Stan Reese. So, hey, thank you guys for hanging out. Well, hey, today we're going to talk about selling your photos using Facebook Shops. So, this is going to be a really interesting topic. Now, originally, this was going to be about Facebook and Instagram. However, I have some bad news. Instagram hasn't approved my shopping setup yet, so that's going to have to be a follow-up, a part two of this video. But the good news is that most of this stuff kind of is all the same. So the process is pretty much all the same because Facebook and Instagram are integrated, not integrated, integrated. I'm just making up words and names today. That's what I do. But so most of this stuff, you're going to be able to take that information and work with it through Instagram as well, because it's pretty much all the same. But we're going to talk about creating a catalog on Facebook. I'm going to show you how to add products to that catalog, how to set up your Facebook shop, and then I'm going to give you the customer view really quick. Now, another little thing that I do want to mention, I'm going to be showing you guys this in a video that I recorded because I did have to use my personal account for this stuff, and unfortunately Zoom doesn't really have any live censor capability, so I'm going to show you guys a video on how I set this stuff up, and then we're going to go into the Q&A stuff. So if you guys have questions about this stuff, if you have a question about Zenfolio at all, make sure that you get those in the chat, whether you're on Zoom or you're on YouTube, because I've got Richard hanging out with me, taking care of you guys both on Zoom and YouTube. So make sure that you show them some love. He does an awesome job hanging out with me week after, or not week after week, but on Thursdays, hanging out with you guys, taking care of you. So make sure you show them some love. All right. Okay. In the way of announcements, we've got next week on Zenfolio Live, we're going to talk about how to host a virtual in-person photography sales session using Zoom. So I know a lot of people are still kind of not getting out. You're maybe not doing in-person sales like you used to. So we're going to kind of go over how you can use Zoom to do in-person virtual in-person sales session using Zoom and your Zenfolio account. And I'm going to kind of give you some recommendations, give you some pointers, some tips, different things like that. Also, if you haven't signed up for the live stream email reminders, that is in the description below the video out on YouTube. You can actually click there and register and get email reminders for every Zenfolio Live and every Site Review Tuesday. And then you can actually join us through those reminders on Zoom or on YouTube. It's up to you, whichever platform you want to join us on. We love having you guys hang out with us on both. And then don't forget to check out that community events page, zenfolio.com/community/events. That's where you can see links and registrations and all kinds of stuff for upcoming trainings and all of that good stuff. Lastly, in the way of announcements, before we get on with today's topic, we are encouraging you guys, as always, to share your photos and make sure that you use that hashtag Zenfolio Photographers. So first of all, share your photos. Let's brighten up social media feeds. Let's encourage, let's inspire one another. But also, when you're doing that, use that hashtag Zenfolio Photographers for a chance for your image to be featured on either one of our social media platforms, or as some of you guys saw earlier on the Zenfolio Live intro. Okay, I am kind of going to stop talking. I'm going to get over to today's content. If you guys have questions, make sure that you get those in the chat. But here we go with how to use Facebook's catalog and sell your images through Facebook Shops and connect it to your Zenfolio account. All right, hold on a second, guys. Let me get this fixed really quick and get the sound going for you guys. Not sure what happened there, but let me get this opened up and see if I can get it to work again for you guys. 1 second here. Let's see. Let's see if I can get it to work. Let's see. Let me make sure all of my audio is good to go. Let's see here. Where's my Zoom stuff? Zoom likes to disappear on me. Where's Zoom? There we go. Okay, so let me get my screen share going, and you guys let me know if there is still no sound, okay? So let's see if this is going to work this time. 1 second here. Okay, so let's see if this is going to work. Hey guys, Robert with Zenfolio here, and in this video, I'm going to show you how you can use Facebook's catalog to sell your photos both on Facebook and Instagram. Now this is going to be part one where I actually show you how to create your Facebook catalog. Now, there are some prerequisites that you need to be aware of. You do need to have or create a Facebook business page. You also need to have or create a professional Instagram account, and that can be either a creator account or a business account. Then you need to sync that Facebook page and your Instagram account together. And then finally, you need to create a Facebook business manager. Now, if you are totally lost like I was when you first start this process, don't worry, check out the description below this video. I've actually included some links to some helpful tutorials to help you get through those processes. And then the last thing that you're going to want to do is have an e-commerce platform to connect this to. Now, obviously, I'm going to be showing you how to do this through Zenfolio. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that you're going to do is create your catalog. So you need to go ahead and log into Facebook and then go to facebook.com/products. Okay, so once you're on this page, the first thing that you're going to do is click Create Catalog. Now, next we're going to choose the catalog type. I'm going to select e-commerce for products sold online, and then we're going to click Next. Okay, for the upload method, we're going to use upload product info. And the other thing that we're going to check down here is the catalog name. Now, I'm going to create this catalog specifically for Facebook. We're going to talk about Instagram catalogs in another video. So I'm just going to write Facebook products. And if you want to put your website URL in here, you can. It's totally optional. You will be adding a URL for each product in a later section. But if you want to add your URL here, you can do that as well. And then we're going to click Create down here at the bottom. Okay, now this is the actual page where we're going to start adding products to this catalog. And I want to pause for a second and kind of clarify what I mean when I say products for this Facebook catalog. So when I say the term products, what I mean is each individual image that I want to offer for purchase on my Facebook catalog or my Facebook page. Now, each individual image is actually going to be available in multiple print sizes. However, I'm not going to create a product for every image and every print size that I want to offer for sale, because the ultimate end goal of this is that when somebody is viewing my shop on Facebook and they click to purchase an image, they actually go to my Zenfolio account where that photo is available for purchase and they can select the print size that they want there. So that is how I am setting this up. So the first thing that we're going to do is add a preview image for the first product that we want to set up. And one thing to note for these preview images, they do need to be cropped to square or 1:1 aspect ratio, and they also need to be under 4 megs. So these particular images that you're looking at, I've cropped them at 900 by 900 pixels, and then I exported them as PNG files. So I'm going to grab this first image and just drag it down here, and then we're going to go ahead and give this a name. Now keep in mind, this information is public facing, so you might want to do a better job on the name and the description than what I'm doing here. Really take some time, think about your names and your descriptions. I'm just putting some information here to get this set up pretty quickly. Now, the name and the description field are required. Scrolling down, there is a place where you can put in a content ID or a SKU number. However, this is not required. It's totally optional, so you don't have to put anything here if you don't want to. Now, the website link is required. This is where the client or the visitor is actually going to go to make the final purchase. And as I mentioned before, my ultimate goal is to get them over to my Zenfolio account for them to make that purchase. So what we're going to do to actually get this link is we're going to jump over to my Zenfolio account really quick, and I'm going to actually grab the link where this image is. And one thing that's important to notice is that I do already have a price list applied to this gallery. Okay, so it is important to notice that, and that way that when the client goes to that link, they can actually complete their purchase. So to get this link, what you're going to do is click on the image and then click this little drop down right here in the bottom right corner. And then you're just going to go to share. And then you're going to copy the link to the photo right here. And then we're going to jump back into the Facebook Catalog Manager and just paste in that link. Now, the last thing that we need to do is we need to put in the price. So as I mentioned, I'm not really creating these products for different print sizes for each image. This is going to be the cheapest option available for this particular image. And I know on that price list, the cheapest option is $20. So under the price section, I'm going to write $20 US. Okay, so now we're just going to click add product. And then we're just going to keep repeating this process for every single image that we want to offer for sale in this particular catalog. Okay, so after you get all of the products added to your category and you hit done, you'll see a page that looks like this. And the next step that we're going to do is go ahead and create our shop. So you're going to go down to the left and look for the word shop. It's right here, kind of behind my head. Click on shops, and then you'll need to click go to shops right here. Okay, so to start setting up your shop, first you'll need to choose where you want your customers to complete their purchases. In this case, again, my final destination for my customers is to complete the purchase through my Zenfolio account. So in that case, I'm going to choose your website and then hit get started. Okay, now next you'll need to choose the business page that you're going to use. So make sure that you choose the correct page and click next. And then just make sure that all of the account details are correct as well. You'll also need to make sure that you select your business manager account, which you should have created earlier, and click next. Next, you can choose if you want this to be available on both Facebook and Instagram. Now, again, I mentioned that I'm creating this catalog specifically for Facebook, so I'm going to uncheck that Instagram option and click next. Okay, now we need to select the catalog that we want to use when we're setting up our shop. In this case, I'm selecting the Facebook's product and clicking next. And then just review the details here to make sure that everything looks good. And then you'll need to hit this little checkbox and you submit your shop for review. So we're going to hit create shop. Okay, so now we need to view and customize our shop. So we're going to click on view and customize shop, and then we're going to click on edit. Now this page is where you can kind of preview what your shop's going to look like. Right now I'm viewing it in light mode. Make sure that you switch it to both light mode and dark mode to look at how the fonts and everything look. If you click on style up here on the left really quickly, you can change your colors, your text, and all that stuff. So definitely play around here, customize your shop, make sure that it's looking the way that you want on Facebook. And then once you're happy, go ahead and click that submit and publish. Now, keep in mind that it may take up to 24 hours for Facebook to review everything, make sure that it follows their commerce policies. So again, once you see this screen, just go ahead and click submit and publish. Now, once your shop's approved, there's several different layouts you can use. There's several different ways you can set it up on your Facebook. Definitely make sure that you look into that. There's lots of tutorials, but I wanted to give you a quick overview of how this is going to work. So here is the catalog and shop that I just created. And if we click on an image, a couple of things that you do want to pay attention to. Again, take a look at that title, the description, all of that stuff is visible. So make sure that you think about the information that you enter there. And then here's what I want you to see most importantly. Whenever the visitor clicks on checkout on website, that's where they're taken to your Zenfolio account where they can see the image and then again see your price list with all possible print size options to purchase here. And then they would complete their purchase actually through your Zenfolio account. So that is how this part of the setup works, setting up that catalog to work on Facebook through your Zenfolio site. Make sure that you keep an eye out for part 2 of this video where we're going to talk about how things work on the Instagram side. Okay, so sorry about the audio issue earlier, you guys. Crazy things happen sometime on my computer. It just kind of decides to do things on its own, and for some reason it decided to do something crazy just then. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into. I got a couple of questions that I'm gonna take, and then after that I'm gonna take a quick break. Hopefully you guys found that helpful, though. I thought it was really cool. So I got this idea after the interview with Laura Greer, when she was talking about how she used the Facebook shops and the Instagram shops. So I want to go in and check it out and show you guys how to set it up. I was actually surprised. At first it was a little complicated going through all of the different steps, but the thing that I found interesting was that there wasn't really resources for photographers on how to use this to sell your photography. So that's why I really wanted to get this to you guys and get this tutorial created. Now, I know we wanted to talk about the Instagram side of things, but again, as I said earlier, my Instagram part has not been approved yet. Keep in mind, Facebook takes around 24 hours to approve stuff. For Instagram, it said it was going to take around a week to actually get it approved. So I'm still waiting to hear back from them. Once that approval goes through, there'll be a part 2 of that where I talk about how you set it up and do it all through Instagram. But let me grab a couple of questions really quick from you guys on chat, and then I'm going to have Richard come on and give me a quick water break, and then we'll be back. But let me grab a couple of questions really quick from you guys on chat. So let's see. Not sure who this question is. I think it's from, is it from Robert? I think it's from Robert. He says, I have a new default watermark for my portfolio. However, when I add a gallery, it loads an earlier version of my watermark. What do I need to do for the new watermark to show up? I have set up a new default watermark for my portfolio. However, when I add a new gallery, so I would kind of need to see your setup on that, Robert. But one of the things that I would tell you to do is to, in your account, just go click on watermarks here. And let me get to where I can actually click on my screen. There we go. And you need to look and see what watermark is actually assigned as the default. So you might have a watermark that's set up as a default, and depending on where you're uploading your new content, that watermark might be a little different. So what you want to do is click on watermarks up here, and then go down here, and you're looking for whichever one is set as default. So if you notice, when I click on this first one right here, it shows remove default, and then this one says set as default. So what I would look for first is to find out if that older version of your watermark is currently set as default. And if it is, then you need to change it over to the watermark that you want to be. Now, the other thing that you might want to look at is in the gallery that you're uploading to. So you can have a watermark set up as default in here, but then in a gallery, you can actually have its own kind of watermark set up to be used. So if I click on a gallery and we go over here to actions, there's an add watermark section right here, and that watermark for that gallery could be set up to be different from what I've established my default watermark to be. So there's two places you're going to want to check. You're going to want to check in the watermark section, see which one you have set as default, and then you're going to want to go to that gallery and look and see what watermark is using that, what watermark is being used on that gallery. Super tongue-tied today for some reason. But just go down here and find it and see which one it's being used and make sure it's the one that you want to be used. Okay? And then, of course, after you change it, make sure that you hit the, let me zoom out here. Make sure that after you change it, you hit the save button over here to save those changes. All right? Hopefully that gave you a good place to start. At least to kind of troubleshoot it. If you try those two things out and you're still having issues, then the next thing that I'm going to tell you to do is to use that little chat button right over here, because those guys on chat are amazing. I can't give them enough good words, or I can't give them enough credit on how amazing they are. If you guys didn't know, everybody on the chat team are either currently active photographers or have been involved in the industry at some time in their career. They're actually all located here in North Carolina, where I'm at, except we do have two ladies who are hanging out with us up in Maine. They are wonderful, wonderful people. Just truly good, genuine people, and they love helping you guys out. So make sure that you hit that chat up if you have any questions. Let's see. Kathleen Riley, I'm going to grab this question for you. So Kathleen Riley is asking if Facebook charges a fee for selling through their platform. And so I did do some research on that. And based on my research, now I don't want you to take this because I don't work for Facebook, so I can't speak directly for Facebook. I definitely encourage you to do your own research on that. But from the research that I did, it looks like if the e-commerce part of it actually happens on Facebook, is if you like integrate some kind of payment option on Facebook, then they do charge a fee. However, with the method that I just showed you, with all of the e-commerce happening on the Zenfolio side of things, there should not be a fee from Facebook associated with that. Basically, they're just kind of sending traffic to that site. Now, again, that is based on the research that I did. I do not work for Facebook. Obviously, I work for Zenfolio. So please, 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 please make sure that you do your own research on that, just to double check. All right. Let's see. Let me grab another question really quick. So this is kind of goes back to the question that I just did. Is it Madges Everything Photography? Hopefully I'm reading this right. It says, how much does it cost to have a catalog? Do they take a cut per sale like others do? So that actually didn't cost me anything, but I don't know, about 45 minutes of my time to kind of figure out how to do. But there wasn't any fees associated with like that. You now obviously there are upgrading plans that you can do. You can do like ads and things like that. But just what I showed you in that tutorial, all of the stuff that I did in that tutorial, creating the business Facebook page, creating my catalog, creating my shop, all of that stuff didn't cost me anything other than just my time. And I like saying time because as photographers, we need to get used to the fact that our time is also currency as well. So something to think about there as well. Okay, let me grab one more question, and then I'm going to let Richard come on and say hi to you guys for a minute, and then you guys can keep throwing your questions in the chat. We've got a lot of time left, so hopefully you guys have got a lot of questions. If not, I do have some backlog questions that I could kind of work through, but you guys, we got a lot of time left, so if you've got questions about Zenfolio at all, maybe you've been hanging out with us on ZenfolioLive or Site Review Tuesday, and you've been throwing questions in, but the interviews went too long or went over, or on Site Review Tuesday, it's just hard to take questions because 15 minutes per site, 3 sites, there's only so much time. And then of course I have to talk a little bit in between. So guys, if you got questions that you've been setting on that you just haven't been able to get answered, make sure that you get those in the chat because we are going to have quite a bit of time for that. Kathleen says, this seems like a lot of extra work. Why can't you just share the photo and link from your Zenfolio on post rather than setting up a shop? The shop is ready to go on Zenfolio. What's the advantage of going through all of the time and trouble of and I believe the rest of that question says setting up another shop on Facebook? So that is a great question. You can definitely go in there and just share the links from the image every time you want to share from Zenfolio onto Facebook as a post. The benefit to setting up that shop is that, I don't know if you've gone to any Facebook business pages where they have shop and they click on it and it kind of shows and keeps them in Facebook for a minute and they can view all that stuff. But that is one of the benefits. The other benefit as well is that Facebook's platform, just like any other social media platform, likes its own products, right? And so what I mean by that is if you pay attention to social media platforms, anytime they come out with a new feature, Instagram just released Reels, right? Anytime they come out with a new feature or they just have their own feature of something, people that are using that new feature or using that thing, they seem to get priority as far as the algorithms go. Their content seems to surface for some reason, mysteriously, much more higher, much more prevalent than other people's who might not be using those new features or that integrated shop. And so the benefit to this is it goes back to that old saying, right? The larger the net, the more fish that you can catch. And that's really the benefit to this. You're not gaining any kind of streamlined capability from this as far as like making things easier. As you can see, it does take a little bit of work to set up, but the benefit is that you now have another net in the water to catch more fish. Hopefully, that's at least a somewhat close, good analogy. All right, I'm going to grab Richard. I'm not going to grab Richard, but I'm going to ask Richard to jump on and talk to you guys for a minute. I'm going to recaffeinate myself as if I probably need it, but I'm going to recaffeinate really quick, and Richard's going to talk to you guys for a few minutes, and then I'll be right back.
Yeah, recaffeinating is definitely important, Robert. I've got my massive, I don't know what you would call this, but it's full of coffee right now. So regardless, I do appreciate you all hanging out with us. It's been a while since I've been hanging out here and hanging out with the chat with you all on Thursday. So it feels good to be back. As always, of course, we've answered some questions already, but if you do have any more, definitely put those within the Q&A if you're on Zoom. Of course, I am hanging out as well within the YouTube chat with you all. But I like that analogy you kind of had, Robert, about fishes and nets. That's a great point. The more transparency we can have with not only our photography business or endeavors, but also our images and purchasing capabilities, of course, we'll have a lot farther reach in that regard. But hey, too, if you are watching the recorded version of this, we actually did have some questions about if we put these back on our YouTube, or how could you rewatch? We do put these back on our YouTube channel. We have all of our archived videos there. If you do have any questions and you are watching the recorded version of this, you always can ask questions as well and participate. We do have a little link below the description entitled Email Questions for Next Week. You can pop some questions in there and we would be happy to answer them. Of course, we're happy to answer live as well, but we do have that option available. And two, also in regards to those descriptions and the links below, if you haven't had a chance and you are on YouTube, if you're on Zoom as well, I recommend to look at the different links we have on our YouTube channel underneath our streams. We have a lot of great resources. Currently, we are doing a lot of great group trainings, selling group trainings, which of course can definitely tie into the topic for today. So if you're interested in learning anything else, if you ever have any questions about your Zenfolio account, we are definitely here for you, whether that's within live chat, whether that is right here on YouTube Live, or within emailing support as well. But yeah, once again, I just really appreciate you all hanging out with us. It means the most to us. But I'm going to go ahead and give it right back to Robert. We're going to go ahead and answer some more questions for you. So take it away, my friend.
All right. Thank you, Richard. Thanks again for hanging out with me, man. I appreciate it. All right. Let's see. I got some more questions coming in. Let me get my screen share back on, and we will keep going with these questions. Okay, so Lynn says, when you were initially setting this up, what obstacles should we be aware of? So as I mentioned before, when I went to research this, there's a lot of information out there on YouTube, on just everywhere, on how to set up the Facebook shops, how to set up the catalogs, how to do all that. So there's a ton of information. One of the obstacles, a couple of the obstacles though, was there's no information on really doing it from a photographer's point of view, at least from what I could find. I was really looking to see if anybody had done this and like put together some kind of tutorial or a video of like, if I'm a photographer and I want to sell my prints through this, how can I set it up? That was one of the obstacles that I had to figure out what would be the best route to do that. But the other thing is that a lot of the resources that I needed, and I don't know if you guys have spent much time on the back end of Facebook or not. Sometimes it's a little fun tracking things down. So a lot of the resources that I needed were like all over the place. And so as I was doing this, what I did was I actually created a document and I was pasting in all of the different resources and links that I was using to reference to figure out what to do, the steps that I needed to follow. And so luckily for you guys, I actually kept that document. I turned it into a PDF, and that link that I shared out in chat earlier, I don't know if I still have it copied or not. Let me see if I still have it copied, and I'll throw it out there right now for you guys. Nope. I'll have to go back and grab that link. But it's actually below the video description in YouTube. But let me go and see if I can't grab that link really quick. There it is, right there. So I'm going to copy that link and I'm going to throw this out for you guys one more time in chat. And I'll put it in there for in Zoom as well, so you guys have this in Zoom. Oh, that's an ugly link. Let me fix that. Hold on, you guys. Hold on a second. Whenever you copy the link from YouTube, it gives you a really crazy looking link, but I'm going to get you a better link. There we go. Okay, so let me try this one more time for you guys to give you guys this link. I'm not forgetting about you guys on Zoom. I'm going to throw it to you guys on Zoom in just a second. All right, there we go. There's that link for you guys. And let me get my Zoom chat popped up. Actually, if I could get, oh, let me see. Where does Zoom go? Zoom always does weird things whenever I close it out. Let's see. Where are the window, view, bring it all to front. Where are you at? Okay. Richard, you're going to have to copy that link. I'll throw it in chat for you there. There you go. You're going to have to copy that link and throw it in Zoom. I can't get my Zoom thing to pop back up. It's being really weird. Okay, but that's the biggest thing was all of the resources that I needed were kind of spread out. And so I put that together so you guys have that to go through. That's hopefully going to help kind of guide you through it a little bit more. Let's see. Grab another question. This is from, I think this is Demarius in... He said, I have a humble question that you don't have to answer now, but I'd like to see this video later and see other videos. Is there a way to do this? So yes, every single Zenfolio live stream that we do, whether it's Zenfolio Live on Thursday or Site Review Tuesday on obviously Tuesday, every single one of those is actually available to view at a later date on our YouTube channel. There's actually a Zenfolio Live archive and a Site Review Tuesday archive. That you can actually view on our YouTube channel. And I think Richard can throw those links for you guys in the chat there on Zoom as well. So you have those, but absolutely you can go back and watch all of those. Now that link that I just threw out to you guys on YouTube, and I think Richard might have thrown it in Zoom chat, that link actually has the direct link to the tutorial that you just watched on the Facebook shop pages. So that link's included there. And I also included a selling tutorial as well, just in case you've never set up your selling on Zenfolio. It's really important that you have that set up first. That way, when people are using that shop on Facebook and going over to your Zenfolio site, you have it set up and good to go for them to make those print purchases. All right, let's see. Question from Carolyn coming. She says, if I import photos with my logo on it for it to be on prints, what size logo and location should I use? I find that when people order prints, often the logo may get covered in framing. That is a great question, Carolyn. So that's a hard question to answer because depending on how you have your shop set up, depending on what you are allowing people to purchase, depending on if you're allowing them to crop, if you have any of the framing and mounting options on and turned on in there, there's several different variables that you have to take into consideration. One being, is the client cropping the image? If so, then is the logo getting cropped off, or is it at least cropping the frame of the image close enough to the logo that any matting would actually hide the logo? So that is one thing that you want to think about. The other thing that you want to think about as well is if you're offering framing and mounting through Zenfolio's integrated vendors, wherever that logo is, how close it is to the edge of that image. Now, I don't have any specific numbers for you as far as like, oh, it should be 2 inches up, 2 inches out, something like that. Maybe some of you guys on chat have some information on that. What I would say that I would do is if that is continuously an issue, you might want to make sure that you do have order approval turned on so that at least when your clients place their orders, if they're cropping the photos, you can look and see how they're cropping them. You can download the cropped image and maybe put the logo where you want it to be so that it doesn't get cropped out of the frame or it doesn't get put out of the frame. That's probably the best piece of advice I could give you, is to make sure that you have that order approval turned on so that if they're cropping it, you can see what they order, you can see how they crop it, download the image, and then replace it in order approval after you've kind of adjusted the logo where it needs to be. And again, that is going to be such a hard question to answer because it's going to vary so much depending on all of those variables. But hopefully, that give you a little something to kind of think about, at least in the form of that. Good question though, you guys. Thank you guys. Keep the questions coming. Images Everything Photography said, would it be helpful to use hashtags to get more views, like keywords on a website? Yeah, so as I mentioned in that video, you definitely, and I talk about this on Site Review Tuesday as well, but you definitely want to make sure that anywhere you can add text that you think about the words that you're putting in there. Because I'm assuming that that shop and that all of those images that you upload on shop are going to be searchable on Facebook. Because it's on their platform. And so thinking about putting in information in the title and the description. Now, I don't know if they allow hashtags in there. And honestly, I didn't stop to look and see if there's any kind of character limits in the description or the title. So that's definitely something that you'll want to research. But especially when you get this set up to flow through to Instagram, hashtags are going to be super, super helpful there. So definitely you're going to want to be using hashtags there. So you want to treat it just like anything else that you do with SEO and make sure that you're putting in really good keywords, giving it a good title, a good description, and all that good stuff. Great question, though. All right, let's see. Let me grab another question really quick. Kathleen Riley says, on Facebook, catalog is better to do upload product or connect e-com platform? So that's a great question, Kathleen. I looked at both of those options, and unfortunately at the moment Zenfolio is not a supported e-commerce platform, so you cannot connect it that way. Now you have to do the upload product option. And when you do that, there's actually two different ways that you can upload the products. You can do it the manual way, which to be honest, I found doing that manual way a little bit easier. There is a bulk upload option where you can actually sync it to a Google Sheet. And I know those of you guys who know me are like, well, why would Robert not do the Google Sheet route? And at first I was all about the Google Sheet route because it was pretty cool because you could go in and you could modify and you could update the Google Sheet and then it would resync without you having to do any extra work. But what I found was the initial setup of doing that Google Sheet was pretty time consuming because you couldn't just drop photos in there. So you had to, first of all, doing the bulk upload, you actually had a lot more required fields than just the manual upload did. I think on the manual upload, there was only like 4 required fields that I had to actually fill out. Doing the bulk upload, there was like 8 or 9 required fields that I had to fill out. Also, I couldn't just drag and drop the images. I actually had to host the images, the preview images on my site, provide a link to those, and they couldn't be the link directly to the actual images that I was selling because the images that I was using for my preview images had to be cropped to square and under that specific file size. I can't remember what it was. So in the end, the bulk upload turned out to be a lot more work than it was worth, and I actually preferred the manual option. So hopefully that answers your question. Like again, unfortunately right now, Zenfolio is not a supported e-commerce platform, so you will have to do the upload product option. Okay, let's see. Question, when I first joined Zen a long time ago, I had the ability to export my photos directly from Zen to Facebook, either my personal page or my business page. The title, etc. would go with it. It was an awesome feature and it went away. It's a total pain to do so much cut and pasting into my Facebook from my photo Zenfolio page. Facebook algorithms don't seem to show off posts with links versus posts with photos. Can we have that in the future? So that is a great question. Unfortunately, Facebook did make some changes. And that is why that feature went away. So Facebook made some changes that we had to take away the export option because it was causing some issues. And so right now, unfortunately, we are only currently available or able to share to Facebook and not actually do the export option. So great question. Let me see. Let me grab another question really quick. And guys, we've still got like 20 minutes left. Lots of time for questions. Hey, I got a question for you guys. Is anybody using the Facebook or Instagram shop catalog feature, anything like that yet? Has anybody actually used it? Maybe not even for your photography, but for something else. Just curious, what has been your experience with it so far? Do you enjoy it? Do you like it? Let us know in the chat. Curious what you guys have to say. All right, this question is it possible to sell an ebook through this site that is automatically sent to the customer? So that is a great question. I am not super familiar with ebooks as far as what kind of format they're going to be. I'm guessing that most ebooks are probably going to be in the PDF format. So you do have a couple of options when it comes to that. You could do the self-fulfilled products route. Now, I'm not going to have time really to show you guys the self-fulfilled products route. There is a video on our YouTube channel. If you go to YouTube and you search for how to sell anything you want through Zenfolio, there'll be a video that pops up that will show you step by step how to go through and set up self-fulfilled products. If that's something you're interested in, definitely please go watch that tutorial. Most of you guys can figure it out on your own, but watching that tutorial, watching it step by step, especially on the shipping section, is going to be super helpful. So go check that tutorial out. I'm sure Richard will probably throw that tutorial out in a little bit. So that is something to think about. But as far as selling an ebook that is automatically sent to the customer, when you're doing self-fulfilled products, those products are products that you fulfill yourself. And so it's not actually going to be automatically sent to your client. You're going to have to email it to them. Now, what you could do is you could set up a digital product to do that for you, where you actually upload your PDF as a raw file and you link it to an image, and then you set up a digital product so that when a client purchases it, they actually get to download the preview image, which would be the JPEG file, and the attached raw file. And I'm going to show you how to do that because this is super helpful to know how to do. Now, one thing that I do want to put out there as a big disclaimer is that while you do have unlimited storage of normal image files here on Zenfolio, you do not have unlimited storage of raw files. So you have 2 gigs free of raw files for storage. After that, there is a fee. So something to keep in mind when you're uploading that ebook and setting this up. Okay? So I'm not sure if I have a gallery in here that actually has a raw file in it. Let's see if we can just take a look really quick. And if not, you know what, I can just throw in a raw file. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go right here and I'm going to create a new gallery, and I am going to call this gallery ebook. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to upload the PDF that I created for you guys. If I can find it, I'm going to upload the PDF that I created along with an image, and I'll show you how to attach it and then how to set up that digital product. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just go to upload right here. All right, and again, you guys keep in mind that you do not have unlimited storage of these raw files, so you definitely want to be aware of how many raw files that you have. Okay, so I'm going to grab the PDF and upload it, and then what I'm going to do is just go and grab, let's see, a small preview image. What preview image do I want to use? We'll use this one right here. Okay. Okay, so I have a PDF. You guys can see it right here. Again, I'm assuming that's going to be the file type that you're going to be using for your ebook. And I just have a PNG image, and I'm going to upload those really quick. Okay. Okay, so once they get uploaded, the next step that you want to do is you want to make sure that you link that raw file or that PDF to that preview image. Okay, and it's important to do that because anything that is seen as a raw file is not visible online. It has to actually be linked to either a JPEG image, a PNG image, a GIF, something like that that you've uploaded. So we're going to go down to that gallery right over here. Here is the ebook. You can see where I have raw files in here now. I'm just going to click on raw files. And what I'm going to do is, you can see right over here it says linked to, and it says that it's currently not linked to anything. So I'm going to click this little plus button right here. Then that's going to allow me to link this to an image. And it's got to be an image that's in the same gallery. So something really important that you want to do. So what we're going to do is click right here and hit link. And now that particular raw file is actually linked to that preview image. Okay? So if we go back to the ebook now, if we just go back to the gallery, you can see right here, that this image now has a linked raw file. So that's the first part, is just getting it uploaded, getting it set up in your account. Once you're at that point, then you need to make sure that you have a digital product, maybe a price list set up to accommodate this. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to do that next part. This is going to be through our digital products feature. Let me get there and show you guys that part. So we're going to go to selling, and we're going to click right on digital products right over here. And what we're going to do is just click add a new product. And I'm just going to call this product ebook download. Okay. Now, probably what you're going to want to do is if you have different ebooks for, and you're going to charge a different price for each one of those, what you'll want to do is create one digital product for your ebook downloads, but you'll want to probably create multiple price lists with that ebook in there priced differently. And I'll kind of show you what I mean by that. But we're going to say ebook download. Now, the license, I would probably upload a custom license in here. If you're not sure how to do a custom license, we have a video on our YouTube channel. Just look up digital downloads. It will take you through that whole process. But I would probably have a custom license on this. And then we're going to go down here to image dimensions. And this is super important. This is where you're going to make sure that you change it from original photo to original photo and linked raw files. You have to do this part or this is not going to work. This is what's going to make this automatically email that ebook to your client. Okay, so we're going to select that option. And then we're going to go down here. I'm going to uncheck this option, and then we're going to leave the number of items required to 1, and I'm just going to click save down here at the bottom. Okay, that is the product setup. So now we just need to create a price list for that. So I'm going to go to selling, and I'm going to go to price list, and I'm going to say add a blank price list, and then we'll call this ebook 1 or whatever you want to call it. I would name it for the ebook that you're creating it for, obviously. Now, after you have that done, you're just going to add that product. Click up here. Go down to the bottom option. Mine says a good photographer. That is the demo name of this account. Make sure that you choose your account name at the bottom. And then go to downloads and look for that ebook download. Add it to the price list. Go ahead and set a price, whatever you want that to be. And then I'm going to make sure that it's added over to my quick shop and then click save right down here. Okay, so now that I have that done, if I had another ebook that I wanted to sell at a different price, all I would do is duplicate this price list. I might as well show you guys this while I'm here. And then let's just say ebook 2. Okay, and let's say that ebook 2 is a little bit cheaper. Maybe ebook 2 is only $25. Okay. So now I have those 2 ebook price lists set up. We're going to go to photos. And then I'm going to go to ebook. I would click on that photo, go to this and say set photo only price list. Allow ordering and choose the right price list for that one. And then if I had the other ebook uploaded and ready to go in here, then I would go to that image, do this, set photo only price list, and then choose the other price list that I made for my ebook. And then when the client goes in to purchase that download, they are going to be emailed that automatically. Now, I forgot to show you one thing. Going back to the price list really quick, if you want that email to happen instantaneously or automatically without you having to approve anything, you need to make sure that in the price list you turn off order approval. So I'm going to show you how to do that because I forgot to show you to do it a second ago. So back here, you're going to go to price list settings, and on this price list, you're just going to say on order approval settings, I want digital downloads, or you could just say all orders to go through automatically without me having to view the order and approve it. And so this way, the client places the order, they're charged, we process the order, deposit the profit into your account, and email the client the file with the download, and you never have to do any intervening or approving or anything like that. So super important that you do change that if you want it to go through automatically without having to approve the order. Okay, hopefully that gave you an idea of how to do it, a good place to start. Let me go back and grab some more questions. Let's see. Next question. Tracy says, is there a way to show more than one image for a single item when you click on it? For my prints for sale, I would like to be able to add an image of the print framed and in a room. So, Tracy, are you referring to how it shows in Zenfolio or how you're referring in Facebook Shop? So, if you're referring to how it shows in Zenfolio, really the only way to do that would be to actually create those images and upload them into the gallery alongside that image. And then what you would want to do is probably remove the price list off of those example photos. So just to kind of show you what I mean by that, I don't know if I have any good examples in here or not. Yeah, okay, so you're talking about in Zenfolio. So let's see, what do I have in here? Let's just say that this image right here is the actual image that we want to offer for sale. However, this black and white image is an example of this image hung and framed on a wall or something like that. So obviously we don't want somebody purchasing the example image. We just want them to purchase this. So basically what you would want to do is go right in here and just remove the price list from that particular photo by clicking on the little drop down, hit set photo only price list, and then you could say do not allow print ordering. If you have multiple example images, you can hold command on your keyboard and select multiple like this, and then go to price list up here, and it will say photo only pricing, and then you can say do not allow ordering for those particular photos. That's really the only way to do it right now, is to actually upload those example photos. And then again, you're probably not going to want people to purchase images or prints of those example photos. So you would just want to remove the price list from those particular photos. Hopefully that kind of give you some kind of idea of how to do it. The other ways you could do it is maybe do like a custom page where you show examples of that. And if you're interested in doing custom pages, definitely do a quick search on our YouTube channel. There are lots of videos on custom pages as well. So that's definitely a place that you could look as well. Great question though. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Corey Woods, I do not have the yearbook pose option. Would you mind explaining that? I may upgrade my plan next month. So this is an option that's actually only available on the advanced plan. And to be honest, that feature can be a little convoluted. Now, there is a tutorial on our YouTube channel that will kind of go through it. But Corey, depending on the type of work that you're doing, depending on what you're wanting to accomplish, I would definitely encourage you to reach out to the support team. Hit the little chat icon right over here. Talk to them about that feature. Let them know what you're wanting to do with it. And then they can explain how it would work, if it would work well for what you want to use it for or not. So I would definitely reach out to the support team on that, just to make sure that that feature is going to do exactly what you want it to do. Great question, though. Okay, let's see. Let me try to get through these questions before I run out of time. Okay, Robert says, if we sell a picture through Zenfolio, which was both JPEG and RAW in the gallery, will the RAW file get printed for the sell? So actually, the RAW files are not going to be used for any print products. If you're selling photos, it is going to use the JPEG file. That is how that's going to work. It's going to use the JPEG file. So just if you're uploading RAW because you think it's going to give you a better print quality, you just want to stick with your JPEGs. Great question, though. Let's see. Corey Woods, does Zenfolio have contracts for customers that say their image could be used in marketing? So we do have a handful of licenses that are in there. I wouldn't really call them contracts, but in the digital download section, Corey, if you go to selling and you click on digital products, and if you actually go right down here on the left under licenses, you can actually read Zenfolio's built-in licenses right here. So if you are selling images maybe for stock photography that can be used for marketing materials or things like that, you'll probably want to check out the royalty-free commercial use license that we have in here. So that option is there. I personally love the fact that I can add my own licenses right down here. So definitely, if you have a license you've already created, a contract, a print release, any of that kind of stuff that you want to be sent along with your digital files, definitely use the add a license option for that, because that is going to be super helpful. So use that add a license option, and you can just upload your own custom licenses and use them on the digital products. One of my favorite features, guys, if you've attended one of the group training sessions with me where we talk about digital products, you'll hear me talk a lot about how much I love this feature just because of how powerful and versatile it is. It's a super just powerful and really great feature. So definitely make sure that you check it out if you haven't. All right, let's go back to photos and let's grab a couple more questions. Guys, we got like 5 more minutes. I can answer quite a bit of questions in 5 minutes. So if you guys have more questions, go ahead and get those in the chat for us. Let's see. This is from Carolyn. She says, when moving photos from one gallery to another, can you move more than one photo? Yes, Carolyn, absolutely you can. So you can move multiple photos. I'm going to show you how to do it. Now it's a little weird the way that you do it, but let me show you how to do it. So we're going to go into photos really quick, and we'll just go to a gallery. Now I'm not actually going to move anything, but I'm going to show you how to get to this point. So typically when you're moving a photo, you're probably going to this little drop down and saying move. All right. If you want to move multiple photos, if you're on a Mac, it's going to be Command. If you're on a PC, it's going to be Control. You click the photo, click another photo, click another photo, click another photo. You can even go down here and click one, and it's going to multi-select all of those. And then the trick is, don't use the little drop down. Go to Actions. Then you're going to see Move, and then you'll be moving all of those photos at one time. Now, you can use the Command method like I just used, or if you'd like to select an array of photos, you can click the first image, hold Shift on your keyboard, go down to the last image that you want to select, click on that, and then again the trick is going to be going back up and using that Actions option and hitting Move there. So that is how you're going to do that. All right, let's see. Next question from Brandy. Hey Brandy, I think we shared one of your images on the intro today. So beautiful, beautiful photos. Thank you for tagging with that hashtag Zenfolio photographers. Beautiful images. I think it was one of yours. But she says, are there sample customer contracts available? So in the license section, please go read those. Those aren't really customer contracts as far as like a contract that you're going to be setting up with a client to do a job. What they are is their licenses where you're licensing the digital image to those. So right now, we do not have any contracts in Zenfolio. Definitely something that we are aware of that people would love to see. So something that we've had feedback on and are interested in looking into. Great question though. Definitely something that we want to look into. Okay, you guys, we've only got like a few more minutes left. Let me say hi to some of you guys in chat. Let's see. Let me just stop my screen share. We got like a few minutes and left. Let me shout out some of you guys. Let's see. Shout out some of you guys in Zoom really quick. Lynn, Laura, Eduardo, D'Angela, Carolyn. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. Hopefully you guys found this tutorial helpful and useful. Let's see. Over on YouTube, we've got Corey Woods, Tracy, Robert, Carl Jones. Who else we got hanging out with us here? Images Everything, Kathleen Riley. I think I saw Home Phone, Lloyd Gray, Lloyd Gray. Now my tongue is all messing up. Home Phone, Anna Montgomery, and Sheila, Michael, lots of guys. Keith, man, I gotta get the microphone out of the way. It's right in my view. There we go. But hey, thank you guys for spending this last hour with me. Hopefully you guys found this video, this tutorial helpful. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, make sure that you click subscribe. Those of you guys who are watching on Zoom, if you want to watch the recording of this, the recording is going to be published out on our YouTube channel under the Zenfolio live stream archive. So definitely go there and check it out. You can go back, rewind it, watch, fast forward, skip ahead, go back and see all the questions and all of that stuff. So definitely if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you click that subscribe button there as well. But hey, thank you guys again so much for spending this past hour with me. I really appreciate it. Hopefully this was helpful. And don't forget, we do Site Review Tuesdays every single Tuesday. That starts at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And then we do Zenfolio Live again every single Thursday. Next week, we're going to be talking about doing in-person, virtual in-person sales. Going to be talking about how to use Zoom to do that, giving you some tips, some pointers, different things that you can do, a way that you can set up your Zenfolio account to make it easy and all of that good stuff. So make sure that you come back for that. Until next Tuesday, hey, make sure that you guys go do something nice for somebody. Go encourage somebody, lift somebody up, give somebody a helping hand, talk to a friend, reach out to somebody you haven't talked to in a while, do something positive, do something that brings you some peace that you enjoy, that you love doing. And until next Thursday, I hope that you guys all have a wonderful weekend. Let's make sure that we are constantly working together to make this world a better place because it could really, really use it right now. Thank you guys. Everybody have a great weekend. Bye bye.